Hi, welcome to the Augmentation of Man with Kent and Renee Miller, where we are bringing the future. And today we're going to be talking about some future events and the massive changes that our remuneration is going to bring. And it's not just us, it's the whole, at least the galaxy.
Yeah.
At least our galaxy. Everything is going to change on a massive, massive scale. And we're going to talk about that a little bit.
It's already begun.
So first of all, we have to dive into what is remuneration, because that's not a word in our dictionary, but numeration is.
Well, it's the act of calculating, signing of a numerical sequence, because everything in the universes are based on numerical calculation.
So everything at its baseline has a mathematical sequence, and that creates the vibration of that thing. So, and then we're talking at like subatomic level.
We're talking massive changes of everything within our galaxy. I don't know outside of our galaxy. I can guess on that, but everything within our galaxy, and especially something closer to home within our solar system, the planetary changes.
And so when we say renumeration, it's assigning again. Or a new numerical code.
Because this has happened before, millions of years ago.
Multiple times as far as what they've told us.
Yes.
And so this is, when we talk about changing vibration, a lot of people don't get into the nuts and bolts of what makes up a vibration. And when you get down to the core of it, it is the mathematical sequence that creates that vibration. So you have a vibrational wave, and you can assign points along that wave, put it on a graphing paper, and then you can assign a location on that graphing paper that equates to a mathematical sequence that you can graph that that vibration on paper with. And so everything at its most basic level is vibration at the subatomic level.
And it's shifting upward. The numerical sequence has been changing every so many, either hundred thousands of years or millions of years, but it has happened before. It's happening again. Now, how long will this take? How long will it take to do this? We can't say. We have not been told, but it has begun.
And we have been told that there's going to be a lot of earth changes over the next 2 years. So we have to assume it's going to be at least 2 years long.
Oh, yeah, it's longer than that, but the changes will begin now and accelerate over a period of time.
So there's various levels of vibration that exist throughout creation, and it's just always there. And it creates all things that are seen and unseen, from the lightest of gases to the heaviest of metals. And so those vibrational signatures create the subatomic structure, which creates the atomic structure. And that atomic structure, when you bring it together in quantity, then it forms an element. So it would be like your aluminum or oxygen, various things.
So when we say renumeration, we mean a numerical sequence of things that are changing. The redesigning.
Yes, of everything. And this includes even our thoughts, which carry a vibration equivalent to our level of understanding. So even our thoughts and our thinking process
as you change, as something in front of you changes, your thought will shift
based on what you're viewing
or whatever, but your thoughts will change.
Yeah, as you're collecting the data. And so in this case, the new vibrational background that has always been there, it exists. It's a part of the universal consciousness. It's always been there, but it is going to be replacing the vibration that has been predominant here.
It's always been there. It will always be there. But a vibrational predominance at this time is existing will be changed. It doesn't change the vibration that has always been there.
But it's shifting. And so the predominant vibration is going to change, and that will change the way all matter behaves, the way that we observe it, and it'll affect everything that is made up of that matter. So planets, the solar system.
What we observe as humans may not necessarily be what we think it is.
Right.
So observing things
doesn't make it the truth.
No, it doesn't. It reflects on things that we see and what surrounds it, and we assume that it's supposed to look like what we see.
But that's based on our own experience, right? And what we have been, what we have observed, what we've been taught, and all our background.
So humans will be pushed along in evolution. Not all humans, because universal law does not allow all species to be pushed in the same direction or in a particular direction. So will this change?
Universal law dictates that everything must evolve
into a specific,
to higher and higher levels of vibrational expression, or it has to go extinct.
It'll cease to exist. Right. So these changes will affect matter. It'll affect our DNA, our expressions, everything.
Our consciousness. It will affect the land mass. It will affect other planets and the way that they are being observed and in their behavior.
Yeah, it's already affecting our planets in our solar system.
So this change is enormous. It affects everything. And so we may see it as, oh, we're going up in vibration, and we get really excited about that. But that's only one aspect. That change brings a lot of chaos with it.
One aspect that may happen to those that think it's going to happen. And I'm trying to say it will not happen to every species on this planet. Okay, and that's
some people simply are not ready to move up in this vibration. They're not there yet. They can't make that quantum leap.
Right, it'll be the rebirth of some humans.
Yeah. So there will be a large number of humans that will be exiting off the earth in a physical death, and that there will be a small core of humans that are left on the earth that will be able to shift upward into this new, entirely new world,
new
paradigm with a higher level of thinking.
Which will create more understanding.
Yes. And so a lot of this is based on the mass consciousness, and that is based on the individual vibration that each person puts out. So we're putting out our own vibration relative to our level of understanding. And then when you collect all that vibration from all the humans on Earth, that creates a mass consciousness for Earth. And then the decisions are made based on that sum total of the vibrational output from humans. And then the energetic pathways are determined from there.
And the renumeration, in my meditations, renumeration supposedly coincides with astrology. Now, how does that, in astrology, we're not talking about astronomy. That's totally different. talking about astrology and the things that are determined under astrology.
So when we talk about this, it's each planet puts out its own vibrational field. And then when you have a collection of multiples of planets, they create an even bigger vibrational field. They're a collective of vibration. And that vibration influences energy pathways for Earth, for example, and the events that are able to manifest out of that vibrational field. And at this point in time, this renumeration is aligned to the certain planetary alignments that create this specific vibrational field.
Remember, this is astrology. Now, humanity is such in chaos right now. We want to go back to the old days, the way things used to be, the way things that I like, the way things are more comfortable. Well, you cannot return to the old ways,
No.
the old ways of doing things.
Everything is changing, and it will not go back to the way it was.
So this causes anxiety and fear.
It does. And it is a rebirth of the human race. And it is aligning to a universal understanding. So human understanding is at a lower level. We really don't understand a whole lot.
Well,
but it's to get us to understand things at a higher value, the way that the universe, other beings outside of Earth, how they see things.
Well, if you live in fear, it will take away your desire to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And anxiety will overcome what you should logically think.
Mm-hmm.
You have to calm yourself. Be peaceful with yourself and begin to learn and open your view around you to accept all that you see in order to understand why it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're getting ready for a higher development of yourself.
The understanding of what is happening, why is important to our being able to calm ourselves inside and bring inner peace, and to understand that the survival of the human race is dependent completely upon our ability to move to a higher level of genetic expression. Otherwise, we're just going to implode and we will become extinct. So this is necessary for our survival. It is a cleansing of the soul. It is a cleansing of the higher self, which is part of the soul that determines our learning path. And that cleansing is the correction in our understanding. So it's bringing us to a higher and more panoramic view of everything, and to see things in a wider perspective.
So don't just look at one aspect of this. There are several aspects that are affecting this particular change that's going on. It may be celebrated for spiritual change, but it's going to have an effect, like a biting effect.
Yeah, we're being told this is going to be rough. People who are not used to working hard, who are not tough, people who don't know how to survive are going to have a very difficult time at surviving. This is going to be, it's going to be a rough one. And we are trying to get you to understand why this is happening, but also to help you to prepare for it.
Yes, and I say you can't go back to the old ways of way you felt good and better about yourself or whatever, but we can use some of the old ways of survivability some of the old hints
as we
tips as
transition.
we transition, because we may need those, such as seeds, how to harvest pure water, how to forage for food within our environment, things like this. Learn. Get on the internet. That's what the internet is for. Learn how to plant, how to grow, how to build. And if you learn these things, then you have a higher probability of surviving for the
Because
change.
there's going to be a lot of landmass changes. Okay. We're talking about, like we've said
Well,
before,
not just that, but weather patterns.
Earth
Yeah.
is changing. So you're going to have mountains rising and mountains falling, and you're going to have massive shifting of the land and shifting of the ocean waters. So
Which is going to change.
We would encourage everyone to move away from coastal areas. This is very important.
It's going to change the weather patterns.
The weather patterns, the rain patterns, and the seasons are going to change. We were told that we may notice things blooming when they normally don't bloom. So everything is going to be chaotic and wacky because we're moving from one vibration to another vibration, and there's chaos getting from one to the other. There's a lot of change, and eventually it will settle into its own pattern and become a new normal. But in between, it's not going to be normal. There will be nothing predictable about it.
Yeah. So all this money change and all this thing is going on, according to silver and gold and all these things that are happening on Wall Streets around the world, it's all irrelevant to our being.
Because
it's all something that man has created for themselves. And if you follow that, you're following a wrong path. You've got to start following a path of, okay, how do I survive what's coming?
And how do we work together? Because really,
that's what's important.
To isolate yourself and to hoard things for your survival, it's not about that.
It's sharing.
This is about coming together, sharing skill sets, sharing what you have so that the community survives, because we don't all have the skills necessary. When we come together, we share our skill set and we can make it happen together.
Those that can work will work in order for food, sustenance, things of this nature to help. Those that cannot work, then we will help them, give them sustenance to maintain them.
But even the ones who can't work can do other things like folding clothes and setting the table or things like that. Everybody has purpose.
Everybody has to get along with everyone else. And I don't know how many times we have to say this. You've got to quit fighting amongst yourselves. You are all humans. All that you recognize. You're all humans. And you have to treat each other, respect each other. If you don't, we have wars, we have these different things which we cannot overcome as individuals.
And so just to recap, this is change that's happening throughout the galaxy. We can monitor it by through our astrologers who are monitoring things that are going on outside of our solar system and within our solar system. As we see those changes happen, we can expect change to come here as well.
Astronomers are also looking at the planets, changes that are now happening on these different planets in our solar system.
And so this will affect a wide range of systems. Don't look at just one aspect. Look at the big picture. It's going to change absolutely everything.
Now, what's the time frame on this? We cannot say what the time frame is. We can only say within our lifetime it will happen.
Actually, this renumeration, they told us, is happening now.
Yeah, the
And they
renumeration.
call it a reverberation. So if you think of, you know, something that vibrates, like a motor, you put your hand on a motor, there's a reverberation happening there. It's moving back and forth. That is what is changing, that it is reflective of vibration, and it is happening now.
Yeah, we were told early on in meditation to eat spinach and asparagus because of the micronutrients within those particular plants will help us.
It helps with the placement of the markers that go on the genetic strand, on the gene strand, to help express DNA that isn't being expressed without the markers.
So why is it necessary for all of this? Well, we can just, if you look at the news, you look around your neighborhood, you look at your city, you look at your state, and then you can see why this is necessary.
Humanity is imploding right now. Yeah. You can see how everything is just plummeting, the morality, you know, everything.
The implosion of humanity's thought, and even humanity is trying to be, there are those that are trying to divide humanity. They're trying to divide the races, the red, the yellow, the black, and the white. They're trying to divide them and not let them come together.
And they're trying to divide the sexes. They're working really hard overtime to keep us in a disunity and to keep this transformation from happening. Because what happens is when all this change happens, all these lower level energies, these people that are working at a low level of control, power, greed, sucking up all the resources, the money, that sort of thing, they will actually be forced out because they will not be a vibrational match to the new earth. So they're trying real hard to prevent this from happening, interfering with this transformation.
They cannot prevent.
And the reality is that this is set. It has to change, and they will be forced out, but they will be kicking and screaming the whole way.
Yeah. So in order for us to move forward, we have to respect and share with one another and give up this idea of hoarding what you have, what you think you need to have, money, assets, etc.
It's about a collective.
It's about a collective.
But not everybody's going to make it.
No.
And we have to accept that. We have to be able, they're telling us to accept these genetic changes, that we have to bring peace and calmness within and move out of resistance mode, because that resistance is preventing it from happening. So we have to accept it. We're not going to change it. We can't prevent it from happening. We're not going to change the fact that the oceans are going to move to new locations. Actually, not moving to new locations.
The lands will actually move.
But the oceans are going to return to ancient locations. Yes. Is really what I mean. So that will be your cue. Like, say, if you want to know where the oceans are moving to, well, in the United States, we have Salt Lake City. That is one big clue right there. So just do your homework. Yeah.
Okay,
so we have to understand why this is necessary. This is very big to understand. To our moving through this is the understanding why, and why all things must evolve or they will go extinct. So we have to, humanity has to evolve, and otherwise we're just going to implode, and we will not continue to exist as a species any longer.
It'd be like the dinosaurs who didn't move forward, and now they're extinct.
So we have to understand where humanity is at right now. If you look at society, it is in decline, and so it's imploding. we have
We're
to be
talking-
pushed forward in order
Yeah, we're
for us
talking
to,
worldwide society, not just the United States or Canada,
yeah.
but worldwide society.
And so we must move forward. And one thing that I do want to bring up that came with this, this meditation and this information that Kent got while he's in deep, he's in a trance and he hears the communication. The other thing that they mentioned was that the time right now is ripe for misinformation. So we have to be really careful.
Called discernment.
Yeah, about who we're listening to, because there's going to be a lot of disinformation, misinformation out there that is not truth. Be careful. Be careful who you're listening to. Be very discerning. And so with that, get your seeds. Get stocked up on food.
Well, yeah, we don't know how much food, at least a year, but
But seeds
but
is
you've got to,
something that
yeah.
will keep it going. So you're limited by how much you can store, and then help people out, especially those who have a desire to move forward and to evolve and learn and understand at a higher level. And so welcome to the new earth.
The new humanity.
And the new humanity. Thank you for joining us. Have a good day. Peace be with you on your journey to enlightenment.